Eustass Kid was fated to fail, and this has been a long time coming ever since this man set foot in the New World. When Kid was first introduced, he had one of the highest bounties among all the super rookies at Sabaody, having a bounty of 315 million in contrast with Luffy's bounty of 300 million. But the way Kid gained his notoriety demonstrates the stark contrast between him and Luffy and how they carry themselves as pirates. While Luffy gained recognition as a pirate by challenging and defeating warlords holding affiliation with a world government or even challenging the world government itself, Kid gained notoriety by simply being a vicious, bloodthirsty pirate that was known for causing mass civilian casualties for anyone that even looked at him the wrong way. At the end of the day, Kid is a cruel man. His violent tendencies and overly aggressive nature cultivated a pirate captain that is extremely reckless and devoid of any compassion, and shows little regard for the safety of his subordinates. And these are the main characteristics highlighting why Kid was born to burn. Now, Eustass Kid's entire pirate career in the New World is a series of failures. Because he's someone who will run headfirst into danger without considering the consequences, this is an obvious recipe for disaster. And sure, Luffy is very similar in that matter, where the minute the Straw Hats will land on a new island, he'll take lessons from David Blaine and just disappear before anyone can stop him. But the main difference between the two is Luffy has never become blinded by arrogance and pride, and Kid's pride is his greatest downfall. When Kid enters a new world, he just wants to speedrun becoming Pirate King, and so he directly challenges Shanks' Pirate Alliance. But he doesn't get anywhere. Ben Beckman makes quick work with him and Kid loses an arm in the process, and this was a clear warning shot coming from the Red Hair Pirates. An obvious sign that Kid better smarten up, because he's just gonna wind up getting himself killed if he doesn't humble himself. But instead, Kid shifts his target to another Yonko of the Sea by invading Big Mom's territory and plundering a copy of her road poneglyph. And while he does take out one of her sweet commanders, he barely made it out alive in the process. And when he forms an alliance with Scratchman, Apu, and Hawkins right after, he gets betrayed and is imprisoned in Wano. And the harsh reality is, if it wasn't for the combined alliance of Luffy and Law with their plot to take down Kaido, Kid may very likely have spent the rest of his days rotting in a cell. Now, it can be said Kid's only real success in the New World is when he temporarily humbles himself and joins the United Front to take down Kaido and Big Mom together with Luffy and Law. But after these two Yonko are dethroned, there's another harsh reality that Kid refuses to accept, which is that Luffy is clearly out of his league, and this is a hard pill for him to swallow. While Luffy mastered all forms of advanced hockey, awakened his Devil Fruit, and took down Kaido in a 1v1, Kid had to work together with Law to take down Big Mom, highlighting a massive imbalance in their fighting capabilities. Sure, Kid has Conquer's hockey, but it's arguably the weakest we have ever seen. He doesn't have observation hockey, and he can barely use Armin hockey. And this is because, unlike Luffy, who spent 2 years training to hone his prowess, Kid never spent the time to level himself up or help his crew level up. And while he did play a major role in taking down Big Mom alongside Law, and was even awarded the same bounty as Luffy and Law after the events in Wano, this created a false reality where Kid suddenly believed he is Yonko level, when this could not be further from the truth. Eustass Kid is an awful captain, unlike Luffy, who inspired thousands of people to proudly hang his flag under the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. The same can't be said about Kid. Outside his crew, nobody is fighting on his behalf, and if he fails, nobody will even bother to come and rescue him. And this is because Kid embodies one of the greatest sins, and that is pride, where time and time again his pride is the reason why he can't get ahead, and why he's dug his own watery grave. Which is why the minute he ventured into the waters of Elbaf in an attempt to get his get back at Shanks in round 2, his fate was sealed. What's unique about Shanks is he's someone who tends to protect the weak, and when the weak try to protect him, this gives him a moral foundation to protect the people who bear his flag. Shanks is not like your ordinary pirate. He doesn't fight a meaningless fight, but only gets involved for a noble cause. And if someone points a gun at people he considers family, he won't hesitate to bring the heavy artillery. Now, the only person on Kid's crew who understood the gravity of the situation Kid was getting into was his first mate Killer. He warns Kid that the last time he confronted the Red Hair Pirates he lost an arm, but this time he won't be so lucky. And despite that, Shanks even gave him a warning, a chance to turn around and leave with his life. It was Kid's pride that pushed him forward. Kid was prepared to fight dirty. If it meant killing Shanks' subordinates to get his attention, it was a necessary cost. But again, Kid's lack of battle experience with real pirates is why he truly got decimated. Shanks was able to read Kid like a picture book. He saw that he wanted that smoke, so Shanks lit him up.